friend of the poor, the Lord and Master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. May your fame be spread all over the three worlds. We take shelter at your lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. His Holiness Swami Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj takes a break this morning. So, it's a difficult task to
You have some acronyms?
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Gopichana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopichana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopichana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopichana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brachachana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brachachana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brachachana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brachachana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Vanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava tava kuncha bihari Jaratama tava kuncha bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Nittai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nittai Gaura Hari Bol Nittai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol Okay. Oh, okay. Oops. Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chavatmaruttamam Devim Sarasvatim Vyasam Tato Jayaudirai Nashta Praeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki. Okay, so we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 27, Text 26. Ato bhajasvamam bhadra bhajantim medayam kuru Etavan Paurusho Dharmo Yat Artan Anukampate Atopashasvamam Bhadra Bhajantim Medayam Kuru Etavan Paurusho Dharmo Yad Artan Anukampate Tobajasvamam Bhadra Yad Artan Anukampate
Atobajasvamam Bhadra
Atobajasvamam Bhadra
Bhajatim Medayam Guru
Bhajantim Medayam Kuru
Etavan Paurusho Dharmo
Etavan Paurusham Dharmo
Yat Artan Anukampate
Yad Artan Anukampate
Atobajasvamam Bhadra
Atobajasvatam Bhadra
Bhajatim Medayam Kuru
Bhajatim Medayam Kuru
Etavam Paurusho Dharmo
Etavan Paurusho Dharmo
Yadartan Anukampate
Yad Artan Anukampate
Atobajasvamam Bhadra
Atobajasvamam Bhadra
Bhajantim Medayam Kuru
Bhajantim Medayam Kuru
Etavam Paurusho Dharmo
Etavan Paurusho Dharmo
Yadartan Anukampate
Yadartam Anukampate Ato Therefore Bhajasva Accept Mam Me Bhadra O gentle one Bhajantim willing to serve Me to me Dayam mercy Kuru do Etavan such a measure Paurusha for any gentleman Dharmaha religious principle Yat that Artan to the distressed Anukampate is compassionate. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Kala Kanya continued, O gentle one, I now present before you to serve you. Please accept me and thus show me mercy. It is a gentleman's greatest duty to be compassionate upon a person who is distressed. Purport. Yavanaraj, the king of the Yavanas, could also refuse to accept Kala Kanya, daughter of time, but he considered the request due to the order of Narada Muni. Thus he accepted Kala Kanya in a different way. In other words, the injunction of Narada Muni or the path of devotional service can be accepted by anyone within the three worlds and certainly by the king of the Yavanas. Lord Chaitanya himself requested everyone to preach the cult of Bhakti Yoga all over the world, in every village and town. Preachers in the Krishna conscious movement have actually experienced that even the Yavanas and the Mlechas have taken to spiritual life on the strength of Narada Muni's Pancharatrika Vidhi. When mankind follows the disciplic succession as recommended by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, everyone throughout the world will benefit. Om Jnanatimidandasya Gnanjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Namobistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Again the text. Kalakanya continued, O gentle one, I now present before you to serve you. Please accept me and thus show me mercy. It is a gentleman's greatest duty to be compassionate upon a person who is distressed. So we are here still in the this Puranjana story, and we hear how Puranjana is attacked by the actually by time and old age. And now in this part Narada Muni tells how Kalakanya actually also approached him and he rejected her, and then he advised her, or he kind of said she should go and take shelter at the king of the Yavanas, Yavanaraj. And this is now taking place, and Yavanaraj is accepting her. And why is accepting her? Because Kalakanya came on the strength of Narada Muni's instruction. And when we look at Srila Vishnava Chakravarti Thakur's there's a short commentary on this text, and he says, Paurasha means accomplished by a man. Even if you show strength, you cannot say, I will not accept old age, because equipped with Narada's vow, I will destroy you. Internally saying this, externally she then spoke with crooked, joking words. So it's interesting. So she says here, I have come here to serve you and to please you, so now you should be compassionate, you should accept me. That's how she approaches. But actually internally she knows, no, you have to accept me, because I'm coming here on the strength of Narada Muni. And if you don't accept, then I will destroy you. So that's the okay. So that's the internal, the mentality going on inside. And of course, the interesting point here is that if one has the blessings of Narada Muni, then many things are possible, right? If you're working with the strength on the strength of the spiritual master, then we can do amazing things. And also, she's speaking here of compassion, that a gentleman should be compassionate. And Srila Prabhupada in the purport speaks about compassion, but he then speaks about preaching, how preaching means to be compassionate to the conditioned souls. Also, Prabhupada speaks about that preachers in the Krishna conscious movement have actually experienced that even the Yavanas and Mlecchas have taken to spiritual life on the strength of Narada Muni's Pancharatrika Vidhi. That on the strength of Narada Muni's instruction and the Pancharatrika Vidhi system, even the Yavanas, they taking to devotional service. And we know that there is two different path of approaching the Supreme Lord, which one is called Bhagavat Marg and the other one is Pancharatrika Vidhi. Bhagavat Marg, which is simply hearing and chanting Shravanam Kirtanam, and while Pancharatrika Vidhi is more the process of the worship of the deities. And Prabhupada explains they're going like two tracks, like a train is running on two tracks. So similarly, a devotional service is running on two tracks. One is Bhagavat Vidhi and one is Pancharatrika Vidhi. And Just some statement by Prabhupada on this. Prabhupada says, when receiving the Pancharatrika initiation in the Vaishnava Sampradaya, Vishnu mantras delivered the chanter from illusion and provide him liberation and entrance into the divine life of devotional service. So basically the Gayatri mantra is there to help us to get detached from the material world. That's the function of the Gayatri mantra, is to help us to get detached when we chant the Gayatri mantra. But the highest standard of pure love of God is obtainable not by the Pancharatrika Vidhi, but by the Bhagavat Marg of the Nam Sankirtan, worship of Krishna's name without material motives. So then, that's why we have Nam, we have the holy name, and it's the Hare Krishna Mahamantra who can awake that love of Godhead in our heart. But still, they are going together. Prabhupada then says, the later point, no one can worship the Lord in the Bhagavad Vidhi without going through the regulations of Pancharatrika Vidhi. So although Bhagavad Dharma is higher and it's more important, still one have to go through the Pancharatrika Vidhi. Actually, neophyte devotees worship the Lord according to the Pancharatrika Vidhi or the regulative principles enjoined in the Narada Pancharatra. Worshipping according to the Pancharatrika Vidhi is called Vidhi Marg, and worship according to the Bhagavad Vidhi principle is called Raga Marg. The principle of Raga Marg are especially meant for devotees who are elevated to the Vrindavan platform. So it's nicely to see how these two processes go together. But the main point, at least what I take from this purport and shloka, is that on the strength of Narada Muni, and also Prabhupada makes the point that the preachers have seen, actually experienced, how on the strength of Narada Muni, and of course on the strength of Srila Prabhupada, by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, we are able to share Krishna consciousness with everyone, and all kind of people take to Krishna consciousness because the preachers in Krishna consciousness, they are acting on the strength of Prabhupada's mercy. So maybe we can just reflect a little bit on also on preaching and what are the qualities of a preacher. What would you say, what is the most important quality of a powerful preacher? What does it mean to be a good preacher? I mean, Keshav Maharaj is here. He's a good example. He's really a powerful preacher. So how one becomes like Maharaj to be such a powerful preacher? Yes.
I would say he's compassionate, because otherwise, if you don't have this compassion and wants to share Krishna with everyone, how can he?
Yeah, you exactly bring the point I want to. Yeah, I mean, compassion is the ultimate, right? Okay, let's see whether we have some other. Yeah.
He's personal.
He's very personal. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He really take care of his devotees. Like not devotees, but those who are those who are questioning something.
Yeah,
really
yes, like there's a difference between just being a platform speaker, just kind of giving a talk and then you move away. But actually, you can see that he's really trying to touch the hearts of people, and yeah, he cares and is personal. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Approachable. Okay. Yes. That also means humility, like in a sense of and being human or like social skills. Okay. Social skills. Yeah. Sometimes you have like people that are more like jnanis. They're very much into knowledge, but then they're maybe not able to relate so much to people, or don't have so much that skills or sensitivity to interact with people. Yeah.
Practice.
The personal practice.
What you preach.
Yes, you have to practice what you preach. We have that story of the, the story of the mother who has a son who always takes sweets. You all know the story? Right. They go to the sadhu and then sadhu says, "Oh, come back in 1 week." And then 1 week later, the sadhu says, "Child, don't eat any sweets." And the mother is very happy, "But why didn't you tell this a week ago? Because I ate sweets myself." So, the words that if you preach and you speak something, the words only have truly Shakti, or they can actually touch the hearts of people to that degree that you actually practice it yourself. And that, when we speak of Shabda Brahman, that spiritual sound vibration, it depends on the purity of the speaker also. If this speaker has a certain purity, and he actually applies what he talks, then his words, they have some meaning, they have some, they can touch the hearts of people. Otherwise it's theoretical, and one can feel that, okay, interesting, but you don't get moved by the words. And that's not so easy, because that means you have to practice yourself. Yeah, these are all very good points. Yes, please.
Place, circumstances.
Time, place, circumstances. Yeah, like a preacher, he can understand who is the audience. Like yesterday, I felt it was very brilliant. Like first half an hour, it was just like, oops. Getting everyone involved, and really everyone felt like, yes, this is interesting. Yes, I can relate to that. That's the main thing, If the audience feels that, yes, I can relate to this is meaningful, that is relevant for me, then they are attentive and they want to know. But if after 5 minutes they feel, what is he talking? Can't understand. This has nothing to do with my life. Imagine Maharaj would have started with, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, then Duryodhana said, and Dhritarashtra, hard to connect. But Maharaj, very expertly, made everyone feel like, yeah, that's something. And then at some point, okay, here we have Bhagavad Gita and Krishna and Arjuna. What is this? That's interesting. And Maharaj already said, there's the things you don't know, and you should be open and creative mind, and very brilliantly. So that's what it means to know the audience and then speak according to time, place, circumstances. Very important aspect. So regarding speaking, also according to what you're doing, we have beautiful words in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is in the Antya Lila, spoken by Srila Sanatana Goswami, glorifying Haridas Thakur. He glorifies Haridas Thakur. This is Antya 402, 203. Apane achare keha nakare prachara prachara karane keha nakare na achara achara prachara namera kara duri karya tumi sarva guru tumi jagatera arya. So Sanatan says, some behave very well but do not preach the cult of Krishna conscious, whereas others preach but do not behave properly. It's interesting, Sometimes you see very enthusiastic devotees, very fired up for preaching, but you can see sometimes maybe the way they interact with people is not so proper, and then you're not so sure how much that preaching is helpful. And on the other hand, sometimes you have very Brahminical, very nice people, very nice devotees, but they're hiding. They're not willing to go out or confront people or share Krishna consciousness. But then he says, you simultaneously perform both duties in relation to the holy name, by your personal behavior and by your preaching. Therefore you are the spiritual master of the entire world, for you are the most advanced devotee in the world. That's quite a powerful glorification. You're a Jagatera Arya, the Guru, Sarva Guru to me. So you are the spiritual master of the entire world, because what you're saying, you're also doing. You're doing both, And of course, he's the Nam Acharya. That means he himself chants the holy name, constantly. But then also Trinada Pisunichana, he lives that, qualities that are required for doing so. There's a short purport, I will read it from Prabhupada. Sanatana Goswami clearly defines herein the bona fide spiritual master of the world. The qualifications expressed in this connection are that one must act according to the scriptural injunction and at the same time preach. One who does so is a bona fide spiritual master. Haridas Thakur was the ideal spiritual master because he regularly chanted on his beads the prescribed number of times. Indeed, he was chanting the holy name of the Lord 300,000 times a day, 192 rounds, Similarly, the members of the Krishna conscious movement chant a minimum of 16 rounds a day, which can be done without difficulty. And at the same time, they must preach the cult of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu according to the gospel of Bhagavad Gita as it is. The gospel of Bhagavad Gita as it is. One who does so is quite fit to become a spiritual master for the entire world. So, of course, Prabhupada mercifully gave us the minimum of 16 rounds. And as he says here, it's not very difficult to do that. Sometimes we lament, oh, it's so hard to chant 16 rounds, how can I find time for this? But Prabhupada clearly says here, it's not so difficult if you have a desire to do so. And then also we should preach, we should share Krishna consciousness with others. So that's one aspect, achar, prachar, that which we preach, we also practice ourselves. It's a very important aspect. And of course, Prabhupada was very, very enthusiastic about creating a revolution, he said that I have come to the West to create brahmanas. And understanding that like a Vaishnava is a brahmana. Can we close the door, please? Doesn't understand. So, and before we said compassion, certainly that was mentioned. Compassion is certainly the most important quality in the sense of if you have a compassionate heart, then sharing Krishna consciousness becomes very, very natural. It's not something that you have to push yourself. Oh, there is no some social pressure. Everyone is distributing books, I also have to do, or everyone is preaching, sharing, I also have to do because it's it's part of the Hare Krishna lifestyle. But no, if you develop this compassion, you just want to do it. In some way, it's also natural. If you get something which is very wonderful, then you naturally want to share it with others. No, like I don't know, someone sees a nice movie in a cinema. Of course, we don't go to cinemas, but sometimes we see something nice, and then you have to see this movie. It's so amazing, because or you have read this book. You also need to read this book. It's an amazing book. So why you do that? Because that book has touched your heart, and you got so much inspiration by it. So naturally, you're a kind person. You want to give it to others also, because you feel that they also should get the same benefit. So similarly, when we really develop a taste in Krishna consciousness, when we feel so happy in Krishna consciousness, naturally we want to share it with others. And maybe I'll keep it short today because I wasn't really prepared for this here, and I was looking forward also to listen from Maharaj. But maybe we can just give this example, and then we can maybe have a little discussion on this topic of compassion. Because certainly, like I myself, I'm still trying to figure out how do I develop compassion, and how can that compassion manifest more in my heart. But there's a nice example of compassion exhibited in the life of Ramanujacharya. Most probably some of you know the story. The life of Ramanujacharya is quite amazing. Like his whole life, there is so many lessons to learn, and one of them is when Ramanuja came to Sri Rangam, he accepted Mahapurna, which was a great Vaishnava in the Sri Sampradaya. He accepted Mahapurna as his guru, and he took that role as a disciple of Mahapurna, and in this way he kind of overcame because Yamanujacharya just left, and he was very pained by that, but he took shelter of Mahapurna and became his disciple. And under the expert guidance of Mahapurna, he reassumed his study of scriptures, and actually Mahapurna was very impressed by the Vaishnava qualities of his disciple, that he gave his own son Pundariksha to make him a disciple of Ramanuja. Quite interesting. And so one day Mahapurna said, Ramanuja, not far from here there is a town known as Tirukotijur, if I pronounce it properly, Tirukotijur. And there lives a great scholar devotee named Goshti Purna by name, and you should go to him. And that's also a nice quality of a true sadhu, a true guru. If he sees that my student has learned everything that I can give, he's free from envy, and he just forwards the student to a next teacher. No, that's very important. So he says you should go to Goshti Purna, and Goshti Purna, if you desire to fully learn the meaning and significance of the Vedic mantras, then you should go to him, because he's the most qualified, no guru, who can give you Vedic mantra. And he has a specific secret mantra, and that mantra you should receive from him. And Ramanuja very enthusiastically, a few days later, goes to Tirukotijur to see Gostinapurna, but Gostinapur was not very much, how we say, welcoming. He says, you may come here some other day, but I will consider your request later. And it was a long distance to go there, so he had to go all the way back, and he was quite disappointed. And then a few days later, there was a big festival held in honor of Lord Ranganath in Sri Rangam, and actually that Gostinapurna came to the festival. And at that festival, some of the priests, they actually heard that Gostinapurna refused to give the mantra, so they spoke to him. Actually, it was said that the priest, inspired by Lord Ranganath, they spoke to Gostinapurna. You should bestow the mantra on my devotee, Ramanuja, who is most worthy to receive it. So that Gostinapurna got direct confirmation by the priest that actually, he should give the mantra to this boy. But Gostinapurna still was hesitant. He says this mantra can only be given by someone who is completely pure. Only someone who is completely free from any impurity can get that mantra. So I don't think that this boy is ready. So he was very stubborn. He was not willing to give the mantra. And it says that Ramanuja didn't give up, but he visited Gostinapurna again and again and again. And he visited him, it says, 18 times. And that was not like you could just take a train or a bus and go there, but it was a long journey. So he went 18 times there, and each time knocked at the door, please give me the mantra, and every time, no. So at the 18th time, I don't know, maybe it was the 19th time, but other devotees, again, Vaishnavas, they begged to Gostinapurna that he should give the mantra because Ramanuja is really qualified. So then I said, okay, I will give. And then he says, then Gostinapurna speaks to Ramanuja, he says, only Lord Vishnu himself is aware of the glories of this mantra. Now, I know that you are worthy to receive it, for you are pure and firmly fixed in devotion to the lotus feet of the Lord. At the present time, I can find no one but yourself who is fit to receive the mantra. So he accepted, okay, you are qualified, but actually no one else is. For whoever chants, it's certain to go to Vaikuntha at the time of death. That's the power of the mantra. If you chant the mantra, you go back to Godhead. Because this mantra is so pure and sacred, it must not be touched by the lips of anyone who has material desires. Therefore, you must not disclose the mantra to any other person. So that instruction was given. And then the mantra was revealed. So then Gostinapurna initiated him into the chanting of the mantra of 8 syllables. Ramanuja then was filled with ecstasy, chanting this wonderful mantra. And with great gratitude, he offered his obeisances, left his guru, and went back on his way to Sri Rangam, in his mind chanting this mantra in great bliss. And what happened then? He felt compassion. He felt so much compassion. He felt, I'm so lucky. I received this mantra. And this mantra is none different from the Lord. Chanting this mantra, I'm directly connected with the Lord. And the blessing is there that by chanting this mantra, I will certainly go back to Godhead after this lifetime. I have to share this. I have to share this. So he went to the next village and he told everyone, please all come to Lord Vishnu's temple and I'll give you priceless jewels. It's interesting, the preaching strategy. We said time, place, circumstances. He said, come all to Vishnu's temple, I will give you great wealth, priceless jewels you will get if you come to the temple. Of course, all the materialistic people of the town, oh, someone is giving out his jewels, great wealth, let's all go. So everyone gathered, there were hundreds and thousands of people gathering there in front of this Vishnu temple, and Ramanuja was climbing up, the roof of this temple, and then he started to preach. No, because the rumor had spread that a great prophet has come and will fulfill all desires of everyone. So in a loud voice he began to address the gathering. All of you are more dear to me than my own life. Therefore I have a strong desire to deliver you from the torments and sufferings all of us must undergo in this temporary world. And then he says, so therefore please recite this mantra which I have obtained for you. Do this and the Lord's mercy will be upon you. And then he asked everyone to chant the following mantra. So please repeat after me, if you want to go back to God. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. So immediately the whole crowd, they calling out these sacred words, and it produced a sound like a thunder. It was very loud. Everyone was chanting this name of the Lord. And then 2-3 times everyone was chanting together loudly. And at that time it seems that earth had become Vaikuntha. Everything was like, it was such a powerful spirit atmosphere was manifested then. And those who had come running to the temple hoping to receive gold or jewels immediately forgot their worldly desires, feeling as if they had been given a diamond in place of a piece of broken glass. They realized, wow, this mantra is so powerful, and actually have received something very, very precious. And Ramanuja felt very, very pleased at the heart, because now he was able to give this mantra to everyone. But by this time, Krishna Premarupa had come to hear the detail of everything that had taken place, and he became very, very angry. Because he had said, this is a secret mantra, no one is qualified to chant it, and you should not give it to anyone. So Guru was very, very angry. So this is we say that one should please one's Guru, right? And here, the Guru is very much angered. So Ramanuja went, he understood that he's now in trouble also, although he was blissful because he could share, but he also was in. So he went to his Guru, and then when he went in front of his Guru, the Krishna Premarupa said, "Get out of my sight! You're the lowest of men. How could you do this? And he was very angry, and he said, why have you come here again, forcing me to commit the sin of looking at your face? Surely you are destined to live in hell for countless lifetimes, because you have broken the order of the spiritual master." And without any sign of remorse, Ramanuja replied to his Guru in a most humble manner, saying, and this is amazing what he says, "It was only because I am prepared to suffer in hell that I dare to go against your order." I know. I'm fully aware what's going on here. "You told me that whoever chanted the mantra of the 8 syllables was certainly to be delivered. Thus, according to your words, so many people are now destined to find shelter at Lord Narayan's lotus feet. If an insignificant person like me has to go to hell, it is of no great importance if so many others thereby at once attain the mercy of Lord Narayan." Powerful, no? And that is compassion on the highest level. Like that understanding that, what's the problem, Yes, I'm prepared. You're right, I'm prepared to go to hell. But what is the problem? If so many others now get a chance to go to Vaikuntha, I'm fully ready to go. Because that's the greatest, that's more important. On hearing these words, which fully revealed the depth of the devotee's compassion, Krishna Premarupa was completely stunned and filled with great wonder. All his anger disappeared in an instant. like a passing of a violent storm, and he embraced Ramanuja with profound affection. And then he said, "My child, I have never known anyone so magnanimous as yourself. From this day, you are my guru, and I'm your disciple." Good, powerful. And of course, then Ramanuja fell at his feet and claps his feet and, "Oh, you are my eternal guru. The perfect mantra has been even more potent because it has come from your lips, and of course you are my guru." And so they had a very loving exchange after that. So this is a beautiful example of a Vaishnava who gets out of his way, like is not concerned about his own well-being, but has such a strong desire to share Krishna consciousness with others. And that's what we are also meant to do, in the line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada, that we try to share Krishna consciousness with everyone and develop that compassion in our hearts. So I will end here, but maybe we can reflect. I would like to, I don't know, what is your ideas or suggestions? How can we develop this compassion? What would be ways to create more compassion in our hearts? Yes?
I would add to be conscious what we are saying, what that person says, how we behave, everything.
So just to raise consciousness, yeah? To be more in maybe sattva guna, to raise consciousness, to be more aware of the needs of others, and in this way naturally develop.
And you just talk to people, and then you know what their needs are and what difficulties they're in, and then you're already in compassion because you see what is suffering so much, and also we see our own suffering.
Yeah, just talk to people. Very pragmatical, because that's sometimes the problem, that we are a bit in our clouds or in our own world. But yeah, talk to people and connect with people and hear their story, hear their pain, and naturally that will awake compassion. Yeah.
But then it's also, you cannot give everybody the medicine and the cure, because maybe you know only the mantra, but they have other problems.
Yeah.
And it's,
that's also there.
I would say that I've seen, for instance, the Sankirtan devotees are very compassionate towards the materialistic people and wanting to somehow or other bring more people to the temples. And you could say they're like, for me, I see them like the vanguardists. They give blood, sweat, and tears out there, and they try to bring people. But then the devotees who lives within the premises of the temples should also be compassionate towards these new people, newcomers, because they try to bring in.
Yeah, then once they're at the temple, they are ignored. No one is looking at them.
What's the use of bringing some people and we cannot take care of them?
Don't disturb my bhajan.
Because the devotees who are in the temple, sometimes I can feel they are in their bubbles.
Yeah, okay.
And they become a little bit impersonal towards others. But we should also be compassionate towards them, like take care of them, whoever comes to the temple, because otherwise they will feel discouraged, not motivated, not inspired.
Thank you, yeah.
No inspiration.
Yeah. That's a very important point that I'm just repeating because we don't have mic. That Sankirtan devotees, they bring in the devotees, they're very compassionate, but then the temple devotees sometimes a bit, not so welcoming or not, reaching out to them. And that's an important point, that we should understand that we are all part of the Sankirtan movement, and the Sankirtan devotees, the book distributors are directly on the streets trying to bring people in, but then those who live in a temple, the pujaris who dress the deities nicely, those who cook nice, so they're also in the same Sankirtan mission, and they have the same duties, and they do it in a different way, but yeah. And we understand there is this two kinds, the Goshti Anandi and the Bhajan Anandi. And the Goshti Anandi is the one who goes out and shares Krishna consciousness with others, and the Bhajan Anandi is the one who is more concerned about his own bhajan and is absorbed internally. And we understand that, at least in our movement, in the line of Bhaktisiddhanta and Srila Prabhupada, the mood is certainly there as a Goshti Anandi, going out and share. At the same time, we also understand that who is the best, who is the true Goshti Anandi. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that the true Goshti Anandi is one who is a Bhajan Anandi. Like one who has done bhajan deeply, he actually is the one who can preach. And we can see in the life of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. I mean, if you think about it, it's amazing. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he spent 9 years just doing bhajan. And then after 9 years, he felt, okay, now I'm ready to start the Gaudiya Mountain preach. But for 9 years, he was just chanting, you know. So it's interesting to see that part also. And also Srila Prabhupada, he went to Vrindavan and he prepared himself. He felt that, yes, I need to go to the West and preach Krishna consciousness, but I need books. That was very clear for Prabhupada. I have to have books to present in the West. And also it's interesting that Malati Mataji, she shares in an interview that this was also the difference between Prabhupada and all the other Swamis who came. That many Swamis came in the 60s and 70s from India, and they presented their ideas of spirituality. But Prabhupada came and he had books. No, he spoke on the authority of Shastra, and he had his books with him. You know, it's not just like, you know, telling some, you know, something, but actually based on Shastra. So Prabhupada also, he took time to prepare himself before preaching. So similarly, devotees, of course, Prabhupada encouraged that this goes on parallel, that we actually, you know, everyone can preach and we should preach from the very beginning, but still knowing that our preaching will have more potency if we actually also do bhajan and if we go deep internally. And then, as we said before, with Haridas Thakur.
It's also like this. First you clear up your mess, and then you can help, otherwise you cannot help.
Yeah. First you clear up your mess yourself, and then you can help others. Yeah. Yeah, because
Is bhajan also not only just
yeah, bhajan is not only chanting mantras, but it's also, you know, becoming a mature person, right? become a clean. What does it mean to clean up? And that's interesting. A very important point. You know, we see these personalities like our gurus and sannyasis. They are so selflessly all the time giving and taking care of others. How is it possible? Because within themselves, they are kind of fine with themselves. Like they have kind of most of us. I mean, talking of myself. We are dealing so much with our own struggles, right? We are so much preoccupied with dealing with our anarthas and in the inner struggle that we have, and then, you know, no surprise that we are not so open and ready to help others because we're still struggling with ourselves. But those who actually have established a certain level of Krishna consciousness, where they feel like, yes, I feel kind of nourished and fulfilled, then you can also give. It's a very natural principle. Yeah, it's very important. Okay, yes. Claudia.
Take fully shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, and then Krishna is the doer.
Yeah, that.
Hell or heaven is the same.
Very high platform, yes. Hell or heaven is the same. If you fully take shelter, yeah, that's of course also the quality of a preacher. A preacher, that's also an aspect of humility. It's not that I am the great preacher. No, I'm the powerful speaker, and no, but seeing him, making oneself, becoming an instrument, and then taking shelter and knowing that Krishna can use you as an instrument. Yeah. Yes.
I just had a quick question. So you were sharing that how compassion is expressed by us wanting to share Krishna consciousness. I was just wondering, sometimes when we try to preach and share Krishna consciousness, then other people sometimes have personal obstacles which kind of block them from taking on and practicing Krishna consciousness. So then on one side we want to share it and help them, but then as well they have their own struggles.
They have their own issues.
How is compassion expressed in such a situation?
How is compassion expressed in such a situation if person that we approach maybe not yet ready to accept Krishna consciousness because they struggle with their mental, psychological issues or other problems in life, right? Well, I would say that as a preacher, we first try to establish friendship. As Vishnu Yoga Prabhu said, just listen to them, hear from them, and connect on a human level. And if they feel that, and that's often what happens, because people, they can feel the devotees are special people. They can feel that devotees are very kind and they have something special. And although they may be not themselves, they may be not able to immediately accept the philosophy or accept the practice, but usually they like to be with the devotees because they can see that these people are special. And if you just establish a relationship, friendship, and then we can help in that way, and then hopefully they get over their issues and then slowly can. And maybe they need some professional help. That's a different thing. Yeah, they need some professional help, and I mean that's something also that you often speak about this. That like brahmanas in the Vedic culture, that's why they have a lot of knowledge also on a psychological level. Often they're astrologers also, and they can help people in that way. That's kind of in Vedic culture. That was very much part of it. It's not. Of course, Prabhupada gave us the pure devotional service, Krishna consciousness, which we stress. But in Vedic culture, a brahmana was also like a counselor, a mentor. Okay, you have some difficulties. Let's look at your chart, and maybe you go through some difficult phase. So to help also on that level, I certainly think that also can be part of preaching or part of the duty of the devotees or devotee care to help on that level as well. Yes, and then we will do them.
It's funny that you mentioned devotee care because many years ago, Guru Maharaj he wanted to establish that within ISKCON, devotee care. So it's very important to have this compassion, to be aware of others. I myself, during 9 years, I was working as a mentor in high school for kids between 15 to 18 years old. And I could really see there that I had so many realizations there of trying to help other jivas who were conditioned and suffering so much.
Yeah.
And that helped me also to be more aware about devotees and help other devotees in whichever way I could.
Yeah.
And then because I was very in my own bubble before, in my own bhajan and so on.
Yeah.
That, so much. Yeah. But this experience during these 9 years helped me a lot to open up my eyes and not to only be aware of paramis or help other materialistic people into the movement, but also take care of. Just a little hello, good morning, how are you? Do you need anything?
Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't take too much actually. It doesn't because we're all human beings. We just need some affection, some attention, some smile. Sometimes enough, yeah. And it also sometimes when you hear devotee care, we think devotee care means if someone is sick, he needs some help, or if old people need help, and that's devotee care. But no, and that's nice. There's an endeavor to spread, make the awareness of devotee care spread in our movement, understanding that there's first of all there's many aspects of care, like many fields in life that needs to be taken care of, and there's many different people who should receive devotee care. It's not only the women and the children and the old people or the sick. It's also the brahmacharis, it's the temple devotees, it's the congregational members, it's the sannyasis, the gurus, the leaders. The leaders also need care, imagine. They also need care. So everyone needs care, maybe on different levels and different ways, but every devotee needs to be cared of. And then there is many aspects of care which needs to be given. And that's also a way we can develop this Jivadoya. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaks of this Namruchi, Jivadoya, and Namruchi, Jivadoya, and Vaishnava Seva. Yes, and so these three go together. So, and those who perform these three activities, they are sure to develop pure love of God. If you have a taste in the holy name, Namruchi, if you serve the Vaishnavas, and if you feel compassionate for the conditioned souls and help them and preach Krishna consciousness. Okay, so we'll end here. Thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Jai Go Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
And the loops and jetzt Krishna's show in other days.
Okay. Yes.
1 or 2 minutes.
Sure.
Because the feedback is there.
Why are you afraid?
Bhagavad Gita and became totally enchanted. And it's fantastic. It's very superior that laptop that needs that Schopenhauer. But anything that every if I want to a book, I need to know the people that practice this. Even these people are crazy or what they need to when I was temple the first time, because the thinking image that we have a religious people because of Christian that is very important, and when started the kid and Sunday kid and wow, this is like a hardcore show. I'm so grateful, surprised.
Well, you can go to gospel church,
Yeah.
People they have read.
Black people,
They do
black
read
people in America have a very cultural practice. I respect that. But in Brazil, the gospel, the Protestants are so So, or especially the more extremely the more radicals who won't speak about the devil. Huh? Devils come upon you.
ସବୁ? ଓହୋ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ ମନ୍ଦିର ଏବେ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ ମନ୍ଦିର ବାପା ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ ମନ୍ଦିର ଆସିଛି ନା ବୋଉ କୁଆର ବୋଉ जगन्नाथ मंदिर घूमने आना जगन्नाथ मंदिर देखिए जगन्नाथ मंदिर देखिए हाँ हाँ मंदिर गए देखिए देखिए तो मंदिर गए देखिए ऐसे तुलसी पास अच्छा अच्छे तले 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 तुलसी अच्छी से अच्छी अच्छी से चुईं हाँ बेटे थे देख लूँ जगन्नाथ मंदिर हाँ कार्तिक देख लूँ कार्तिक कार्तिक बोले कार्तिक अच्छा मंदिर 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 कि अच्छी देख मंदिर जगन्नाथ मंदिर कार्तिक वाले कार्तिक वाले हाँ ठीक अच्छे तू पुआ रही तो झील अच्छा अच्छा हम कहली मंदिर आस देखे दिए टे ना देख आसी कौन है ये तले ये अच्छी तुलसी पत्र सब खरा खरा निकला बोली हरे कृष्ण खेलती हूँ मम्मी ने आसला में बोले है ना कि तो पूरा जरा तो झील जाए स्कूल जाइए अच्छा अच्छा कार्तिक बात है अल्लाह हाँ ब्रेक लगा यही मंदिर जगन्नाथ मंदिर देखा जगन्नाथ मंदिर देखा चेतन तो आप वाले नहीं अच्छा अच्छा हाँ तो आप कही दे तो जरा कुछ तो जरा कुछ ସେ ପଞ୍ଚମୁଦ୍ରିକାଟି ଅଛି ପଞ୍ଚାମୃତମ ପଞ୍ଚମୁଦ୍ରିକା ଅଛି ଏଗୁলো ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ ଆରେ ସଜେଇଛନ୍ତି ହେଲା ନାଇଁ ମୋ ଦେହ କାହିଁ ଖରାପ ହେବ ହେଲା ଏ ମନ୍ଦିର ଭିତରେ କିନ୍ତୁ କ'ଣ ଜୋର ପାଠ କରିବି ନା କ'ଣ ହେଲା ମନ୍ଦିର ବାବାଙ୍କୁ ମାମୁଁ ଦେଖେଇଲେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ମନ୍ଦିର ହେଲା ତଳେ ଦେଖିନି ଫୁଲ ହେଇଛି ହେଲା ଆଉ ଟିକେ ଦେଖିବେ ବିନ୍ ହେଇକା ହେଇଛି ଫୁଲ ହେଇଛି ଟମାଟୋ ହେଇକା ହେଇଛି ଦେଖିବେ ତଳେ ସବୁ ଚଉରା ଗଛ ଅଛି ଦେଖାଯାଉଛି ଚଉରା ଗଛ ଆଉ ଠିକ୍ ଅଛି ମୁଁ ରଖୁଛି ହେଲା ତୁ ଯଦି ଔଷଧ ଖାଇଛୁ କ'ଣ ଔଷଧ ଖାଇଛୁ କାକୁଡ଼ି ଖାଇଛୁ ଆଚ୍ଛା ହଉ ଠିକ୍ ଅଛି ହଉ ଔଷଧ ଖାଇଛୁ ଔଷଧ ଖାଇଛୁ ମୁଁ ସେ ଔଷଧ ଖାଇଛି ତୁ ତୁ ପୁଅ ହଉ ଠିକ୍ ଅଛି ଆଉ ରାତି ମନ୍ଦିର ଆସିଛି ହଉ ହେଲା हाँ ठीक है हाँ अच्छा राखी पूर्णिमा के जल्दी उठे पड़ो ना है कि कि रखीचु से अमित भाई दवाई अच्छा गोटे एड्रेस हाँ ठीक अच्छे नाई गोटे एड्रेस पठे मुझे नहीं आसिक है दी चार अधिक पैसा पड़ो है कि तार एड्रेस हाँ तार एड्रेस पठे दे मुझे कलेक्ट करदेवी हाँ मुझे नहीं आस हाँ ठीक है चलो देख हाँ ठीक है तो जगन्नाथ जगन्नाथ देख है गप कहले से बस गप कर बस जगन्नाथ को देखे है मंदिर भीतर लोक किए ना बोली मंदिर भीतर कि मंदिर भीतर कि मंदिर भीतर कौन कर तले ये कर ना तुलसी अच्छे लोक मंदिर बेसी ना वीडियो कॉल करदेली मम्मी दस मत आसुटा देखिए हम रखुच हम रखुच कथा हाँ 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 हम रखुच पर कथा बापा शुणा जाऊ ना कौन हेलो मुझे रखुच पर कथा
Stell dir vor, einfach so Stuhlsachen mit dem Namen.